Motivity's video release notes. My name is Brian. I'm Motivity's Chief Creative Officer, and I'm here with Raul, our VP of Product.
Hi, everyone.
And we are here again to talk about what we released in the month of July. We have a very long list this month, so we're going to do things a little bit different. We're going to stay very high level. We're going to point you to our detailed release notes that are published on our website for you to go in and see all the nitty gritty, all the little things that we released in the last 30 days. So we're going to do what we normally do. We're going to start with the clinical releases. Raul, we start off here with some new, much desired transition criteria.
Yeah, absolutely, Brian. We've heard a lot about this one, and it's one that we've been working on for a little while. But basically what we've done is we made it so that you can now transition targets through their phases based on the number of trials that you've done rather than the number of sessions. And we know it's super useful for like a lot of teaching programs that are out there, especially when you're doing more naturalistic teaching or more opportunistic teaching. So you can just make sure that you run something a certain number of times, and then regardless of the number of sessions, it's going to transition after that. So you might have, say, I want to do this 5 times, and then we'll transition.
Yep.
And that also is going to work across different people, right? So if
across
you've got different people teaching different sessions, that's just going to carry through.
Yep. I was just about to say the distinct people. Yeah. Greater flexibility, a better way to define and track mastery criteria. So
that's right.
Definitely a really nice improvement there. Another big one on the list, something we've been working on to really aid in getting people up and running using our note and reports module is a new report template library. So that's going to be launching August 4th. So yeah, let's talk about this and how it works.
Yeah, absolutely. We've actually been talking about libraries, I think, for the last couple sessions that we've done of these.
Yeah.
And it's something that we've invested quite heavily on. We know that people are trying to standardize their clinical workflows, and we've been very successful in helping them standardize a lot of their clinical programming, right, with our extensive library of program templates. We're bringing that same concept now to the downstream processes when it comes to the clinical documentation. So the new libraries that we're releasing are going to contain report templates and note templates that we've curated from various sources, industry sources, some of our customers, our own internal expertise, but it's allowed us to really use what I like to call the perspective of the collective, as we've spoken to the hundreds of clinical practices on our system and thousands of clinicians, so that we can bring you really high quality templates. It makes it a lot easier to come on to Motivity, but it also makes it a lot easier for your clinical operations to be much more standardized and much more controlled by using the templates out of the libraries.
Yeah. One of the things I love is that we're going to be starting to put in their payer approved note report templates, so you don't have to worry if you have a funding source that's on that list. You can rest assured that they've been tried, tested, and approved by that funding source for you to use. So things like that, I think, are really powerful. Yeah.
Exactly. And it's also an opportunity if you feel like giving back to the community and you've got a template that works really well, let us know and we'll take a look at it, and we can even make it available to other clinics as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so if we had to give an overarching theme to July's releases, I think website.